A very good morning, good evening, good afternoon, ladies, gentlemen, boys, girls, whatever place it is you're tuned on to the Life Signatures Radio. Yet another day, another opportunity for us to share this information and this gospel of purpose, productivity, and resilience. It's a daily thing. Every single day there's going to be an episode concerning that kind of stuff and anything in between. For example, in this moment in time, we are in a series which you started like 7 days ago. We are talking about spirit. We're talking about the importance of spirit in an organization or in your craft, or maybe you're talking also about injecting spirit in your craft. And over the past several episodes, we've been talking about the 10 signs that will show that the spirit of the organization is suffering. 10 signs. These are signs. These are not necessarily bang-on indicators that it's off. No, it's a sign, which means that when you see a sign, it's a symptom. You've got to investigate and find the root of the issue, especially if these signs are prolonged in appearance, as in they're 2 months, 3 months, 4 months, 5 months, a whole quarter down the line, and they're still there. It just calls for you to investigate and find out what's the problem. So today, let us look at another sign, and stay tuned.
Welcome to the Life Signatures podcast with Lawrence Namale. Lawrence is a life coach, author, and keynote speaker who loves to tackle different topics on purpose, productivity, and resilience. His mission in life is to awaken all your boundless possibilities available in you. Life Signatures podcast is dedicated to bring to reality every single person who knows that deep down in their gut, there's got to be more to life than this. And now, here is your host, Lawrence Namale.
Let us do a recap even as we go through this. Number one, there is a sign that there is a suffering of the spirit of the organization when there is lack or low passion. Low or lack of passion. Number two, there is low or lack of creativity. Number three, there is low or lack of enthusiasm. And then number four, there is a high turnover. People are just leaving and leaving and leaving. Number five, there is stunted growth, stagnation. And then number six, there is grumbling. We talked about grumbling yesterday. Then number seven, there are low levels of engagement. Low levels of engagement. But then I want us to talk about the eighth, which is very interesting. Lack of interest. This one, I'm not interested. Now, of course, people have got to be paid. All right? They have got to receive money at the end of the week or at the end of the month or at the end of the day. So they know that they cannot tell you to your face, ain't interested. There are quite a number of people who will tell you that because they know for them, I'm out of here. They know they've got to go out, they've got to move on. Either they have new opportunities, better opportunities, or they just can't stand it. So they out. They will tell you to your face, I ain't interested anymore. But then there is a bunch of people, and I was one of them, who have got to pay their bills. And they've got to pay the bills at your expense. Why am I saying at your expense? Because you've got to pay them, and yet they are disinterested. You will see, you will feel there's lack of interest in here. And of course, in some organizations, there are very many policies, HR policies and regulations and all that stuff where, you can do just about anything and it takes a long cycle to get fired. So some people use that as they use that as a crutch. But lack of interest is something that denotes that the spirit of the organization is suffering, or it's dead, or it's not there, or there's a disconnect. People are totally disconnected from the organization. They will show you lack of interest, or even if they don't show you, there's another one where they hide, they pretend. Watching movies and all that stuff, if you're not monitoring on your on your internet, you can't know. But then when the boss is going around management by walking around, management by walking around, they minimize their windows and all that stuff. Or they do other things at work. They do other jobs at work. But the core work, the reason as to why you're existing, the spirit behind your organization, they ain't interested in it. They are not connected to it. That is a sign that it's suffering. Whenever there is a spirit whenever there is the spirit in the organization in abundance, flowing in abundance, I'm telling you, you will see a lot of interest. You will see a lot of excitement. You will see a lot of curiosity about the prospects of the organization. You will see it. And they ask questions, whose answers will help them to protect and to be proud of the organization. But the opposite is also true. If you notice that people are no longer curious, people are no longer, seeking the freshness of the spirit of the organization, people are no longer even defending the organization. When it's bashed and all that stuff, they don't stand up for it. People start using words like they in reference to you as an organization, and yet they are inside the organization. There is a hint that there is a disinterest, and this disinterest is an indication, it's a sign that the spirit of the organization as it should be is suffering. Remember, we said this, that it's ideal that if I'm working in an organization, if I'm working for an organization, it is ideal that I'm connected to the spirit of the organization, and it's ideal that I'm not just jobbing. It's ideal that I am engaged actually in the cause. I identify with the organization as if it's mine. Okay, of course, this is the ideal. The conundrum is finding people who can live to that particular ideal. And there are people, I tell you, there are people, if you can just look long enough, there are people who will identify to the spirit of the organization. Someone was telling me the other day, they were doing an analysis of some particular companies and some reports, that some guys were in that particular company minimum 20 years. Minimum 20 years. They're there, and I don't want to poke holes into that. But my point is this. Disinterest, at the end of the day, if it continues for a long period of time, it's going to lead to something else, which I'm going to mention to you in the episode that is coming up tomorrow. But disinterest or lack of interest is a sign that the spirit of the organization is suffering. Tomorrow, we're going to look at the other one. But until then, bye-bye.
Thank you for listening to Life Signatures Radio. If you enjoyed today's show, subscribe to Life Signatures Radio on iTunes, Stitcher, or visit our website at lifesignatures.libsyn.com. Life Signatures Radio, fresh, clean, and inspiring.